We live in a culture that rewards exhaustion. Hustle is glorified, sleep is treated like a luxury, and burnout is worn like a badge of honor. But here's the truth: real transformation doesn't happen in the grind. It happens in the quiet, in the stillness, in the hours when you give your body permission to heal. And that's why pillar three is sleep, but not just logging enough hours, but honoring your body's natural rhythm, the biological cycles that govern your hormones, recovery, metabolism, and mood. This isn't the soft science, this is real science, and it's strategy. You can eat clean, train smart, and track every variable, but if your sleep is out of sync, you're swimming upstream, which is really tough. Every 24 hours, your body follows a rhythm, a kind of internal clock that dictates when energy rises, when healing begins, and when your system needs to shut down and repair. If you ignore that rhythm, if you keep pushing past fatigue with screens, work, or stimulation, you disrupt the very process that makes fat loss and recovery possible. Here's what that rhythm looks like. Between 6 and 10 p.m. every night, this would be considered your wind down window. Your nervous system starts to slow down. Your body asks for rest. Most of us fight this by scrolling, multitasking, working late, sending a signal that says stay alert when the body is saying power down. And unfortunately, this has become a normal part of our everyday lives. I know I'm guilty of that too. But then this is where the magic happens. Between 10 and 2 a.m., your body enters the deepest repair phase where muscle tissue rebuilds and inflammation lowers. And of course, your hormones rebalance too. Your fat metabolism kicks in. But if you're awake during this window, unfortunately, you're missing the magic. Kind of like skipping the most important part of your workout at the gym. And if you skip it, you miss those gains. After this, you'd enter what is called um, the light sleep between 2 and 6 a.m. This is where emotional processing happens, memory consolidates, which allows you to wake up sharper, clearer, and more in tune. But you're only aligned if you're in the rhythm. But unfortunately, if you're overriding these phases consistently with noise, light, and stress, here's what happens. You wake up groggy and wired, craving a cup of coffee. I know I do sometimes. You crave sugar, stimulation, just to function. And your stress hormones start to spike, which can make it harder to lose fat because your body is getting signals from your brain that it needs to store fat in order to protect itself. And if you feel like you're doing everything right, but nothing's working, guess what? You probably have to start looking at your sleep. Because a lot of what does go wrong in our routines does come back to the amount of sleep we're getting and the quality of sleep that we get. And this is where so many people get stuck, not because they're lazy, not because they need more motivation, but because they're out of rhythm with their biology, they're out of rhythm with nature and the way that we've been intended to live. And this is what makes sleep the keystone habit in your fat loss journey. It holds everything else together. And without it, you can't think clearly enough to track your habits. You won't be able to track food that you're eating, the exercises you're doing, none of it. And unfortunately, it would also mean that you can't truly recover from the training you do in the gym, which then means you show up at the gym. Unfortunately, you wouldn't be in peak shape, being able to lift the weights that you're used to. You can't regulate your appetite or make empowered food choices either because of the brain fog and you're thinking from a place of time scarcity. So, what can you actually do? You need to start winding down by 8 a.m. Dim your lights, reduce the noise, and signal to your body that the day is ending. Cut screens off at least 30 minutes before bed. These do delay the melatonin that comes through our bodies around the time when we're meant to be sleeping, and this can overstimulate your brain. Try and build into your daily routine a natural wind down routine that works for you. So, like for me, I would be doing things like light stretching, journaling, a warm shower, a cup of rooibos tea, or anything else that makes me feel like it's okay to rest and unwind. You should also try and keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Turn it into a true sanctuary for rest. But most importantly, as often as possible, aim to be asleep by 10 p.m. This would be such an important game shift, or yeah, this would be such a shift in the way that you're able to show up throughout the day, but also in the gym. But again, it isn't about being perfect. It's about rhythm. You don't need more willpower. You need more alignment, more recovery, more respect for your biology, because healing doesn't happen when you push harder. It happens when you allow, when you listen, when you rest. So protect your sleep, protect your nervous system, protect your peace. That's where the real transformation begins. Much love.